So this is going to be a long video packed full of tons of great information, so you're going to want to make sure you stick around all the way to the end. Today we're talking about fungus and fungicides. I've been telling you guys for a couple weeks now to start getting your plan ready for fungus, and we're here. So taking a look at the 10-day forecast, I'm seeing, the conditions are right. I just posted a video about the disease triangle, and if you haven't seen that, you make sure you check that out. But the disease triangle are the three things that you need in a lawn to have fungus. Number one, it starts with a host, which is your lawn. You need moisture, so that can come in the form of rain or thunderstorms. And then we need temperature. So temps over 80, 85 degrees, nights 60 and 65 degrees. And so again, looking at the 10-day forecast, the timing is right. Remember, we want to put fungicides down preventatively. We don't want to wait until we see active fungus in the lawn. We want to get these chemicals, these products inside the plant to help protect it from fungus. So with all that being said, I'm going to bring you guys in a little bit closer, show you how we mix these up, and talk about fungicides and fungus and get you guys ready so that you don't have to deal with fungus in your cool season lawn. So with that being said, let's get into the video. I'm going to show you guys my strategy for how we keep fungus out of the lawn. But like I always say in my videos, one of the most important things that we can do is we got to make sure we wear our PPE, and then always make sure you read the label. Okay, again, the label is going to tell you everything that you need to know for the product, as far as how to apply, when to apply, the different funguses that they treat, temperature restrictions, do I water it in, do I not water it in. So if you guys ever have a question about the product, make sure you read the label. It's super important, especially with fungicides, as these things can, you can end up doing damage to your lawn if you're not careful. So take my advice, listen to what I say, but also please always read the label. So before we get into all that, let's talk about cost for a minute, because it's super important to understand cost per application and not just the cost per bottle. Because when it comes to fungicides, there can be a lot of sticker shock with some of these products. So I really want you guys to understand and not just look at cost per bottle, but rather look at it as cost per application. So I'm going to throw up on the screen a product from Scott's, which is called Disease X. Great product, works great. Find it on Amazon. So it costs $21 a bag. The bag covers, I think, 5,000 square feet. And so in order to apply that preventatively, which is what we're doing on all these products, you would apply it 2 pounds per thousand. So the total cost for application for my lawn with that product, 20,000 square feet, would cost me $84 every 28 days to apply that product, okay? Bio Advanced Fungus Control, another great product, okay? Find it on Amazon. You can find it, at the big box stores. Covers 5,000 square feet, and the active ingredient in that is propiconazole. The cost per bottle is $23.97. Again, you can find that at Lowe's and Home Depot. So to apply that preventatively, it's 6.4 ounces per thousand. So that's why the bottle's 32 ounces, covers 5,000 square feet. So the total application cost for my lawn for 20,000 square feet every 28 days would cost me $94.80, which is a lot of money, okay? So what I want to show you guys today are two products that I have on the table. I have some azoxystrobin in the 1 gallon container, okay? And it costs $219.95, okay? And you're like, wow, that's a lot of money. And it is a lot of money. But when you read the label, and you look at the application rate, which is 0.38 ounces per 1,000, the total cost per application for my 20,000 square foot lawn only cost me $13.09 for the entire application. And you, again, reapply that every 28 days, okay? Propiconazole, another great product. Same product as the Bio Advanced Fungus Control. 1 gallon. Cost on Amazon is $99.95. Again, a lot of money. But according to the label, application rate is 1 ounce per thousand. So the cost to treat my entire lawn 20,000 square feet would cost me $15.60. And again, you reapply these every 28 days. Okay, so there are a couple of important things that I want to kind of point out and note here. When it comes to fungicides, it is extremely important to make sure you are rotating the groups or classes of fungicides, because funguses can develop a resistance to that particular fungicide. So both the products that I have, both the propiconazole and the azoxystrobin, are labeled to treat brown patch, which is kind of the main culprit here. The main fungus that we deal with here with cool season lawns is brown patch. So that's our target pest here. And both propiconazole and azoxystrobin are labeled to treat both of those. So according to the label, it says that you can combine 2 fungicides from 2 different groups to significantly reduce the likelihood that that fungus would develop a resistance. In order for a fungus to, break through and for these products to not be effective, the fungus would now have to mutate and be able to get through 2 modes of action as opposed to just 1. So why do I bring that up? Why is that important? Because part of my strategy for treating fungus in the lawn is I apply both propiconazole and azoxystrobin at the low rates every 28 days to get my control. So rather than just applying maybe the Scott's Disease X and hoping that one product, the azoxystrobin, can stop fungus, or just the Bio Advance, which has propiconazole in it, I'm using 2 different products to really strengthen, my resistance against fungus. So something else I want you to understand about fungicides, specifically propiconazole and azoxystrobin, they are systemic, meaning they have to be absorbed into the plant in order to be effective. So when we spray them out, they get absorbed into the plant. We'll talk about that too. That's why I've got the O2YS on the table. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But they want to be absorbed into the plant. The plant takes them in, and then for the next 28 days, they are stored within that plant. And as time goes on, as you mow and as it rains and you keep cutting your grass, that fungicide moves throughout the plant. And so that's why we have to reapply these every 21 to 28 days, because it just breaks down over time. And so I want you to think about fungicides as like insurance. You certainly don't want to get caught without it, because, in the event that something happens, if you didn't have insurance, it could be very expensive. Well, getting caught without a fungicide in your plant is kind of the same way. It can be very expensive to fix if you don't have fungicides. So my strategy for not dealing with fungus in a cool season lawn in the middle of summer is combining both azoxystrobin and propiconazole into 1 tank, applying every 21 to 28 days, as long as conditions are favorable for fungus. So again, we talked about the disease triangle in the beginning of the video. So as long as that window is open in the disease triangle, I'm going to be applying fungicides like clockwork every 28 days, okay? The secret ingredient behind all of this and what makes all of this work is the O2YS. So the O2YS is a natural adjuvant, meaning it aids in helping the plant absorb the product that we are putting into it. So in this case, it's the propiconazole and the azoxystrobin. And the way it works chemically is it opens basically the pores of the plant and allows that plant to better absorb those products into them. So if I'm applying fungicides or fertilizers, I really like anything that's a foliar application. I like to use the O2YS. I just get much better contact. It sticks to the plant really absorbs it and takes it in. And that's how I'm able to get my 28-day control by using the low rate on these products, is by that O2YS. So the one kicker about O2YS is you have to adjust the pH of the product to a 5 or slightly below in order for the adjuvant to work inside the plant. So I'll show you guys when I'm mixing. I've got a pH meter here on the table that I will measure the pH. We'll make sure it's 5 or slightly below, and then we'll add the O2YS to it, and then the product is ready to go and it's ready to start spraying. So if we need to drop the pH a little bit, we've got some citric acid that we can use to adjust the pH. So, and then the last thing that I really want you guys to understand is that, and this is also just really important, 1 gallon of product covers 1,000 square feet. So you've seen other videos of mine where maybe I'm putting out a pest control or putting out, maybe a RGS or humic acid, and those are fine to go above, 1 gallon per thousand. Maybe 1 gallon I can do, 2,000 or 3,000 square feet. But when it comes to fungicides, it is extremely important because you need that extra volume of water, of what we call carrier, to be able to coat the leaves of the plant, of the grass. And so I really want you to make sure that you're using a full gallon of water to cover 1,000 square feet, because the goal here is to get a good even coverage and make sure we're covering all of the plant, all of the grass, so that we don't have to deal with fungus. So with all that being said, let's kind of get into mixing, and then I'll show you guys me kind of spraying, and then we'll wrap this video up. So we're gonna fill our sprayer up with 4 gallons of water. We're gonna measure out our azoxystrobin. Okay, so remember, this is a 0.38 ounces per thousand. I like to write my use rates on my bottles so I don't have to remember every time. I like to rinse it out, make sure I get it all out. This stuff's pretty thick. Now we're going to measure out our propiconazole. Again, the use rate is 1 ounce per thousand. Again, write it on the bottle. All right, so this is a paint mixer. We're just going to mix this up. Now remember, I said before we add our natural adjuvant, we've got to get our pH to 5 or slightly below. Stick it down in there. Okay, and right now the pH is 8.5, so we've got to drop this pH again to 5 or slightly below. The one thing I'll say about the citric acid is a little bit goes a long way. I've had this bag for probably 2 years, so just be careful with it. A little bit goes a long way. So I'm going to mix it back up, and we'll check it again. All of these products are available on my website at thediylawncoach.com. So I'm an affiliate with GCI Turf, which is where I get all these products from. So if you, again, find this video helpful, feel free to support me there. I'd greatly appreciate it. pH. All right, so we are at about 4.5, so that's good. We could measure our O2YS. Now that we've got our pH right, and this is a 1/2 ounce per thousand. This stuff is pretty thick too, kind of like honey. It's made of yucca root, and it just works fantastically. We're ready to start spraying. So as I mentioned before, the goal with this is we want a nice even application, so we're going to take our time. We've got plenty of carrier volume here, so we should get a really good coverage. So I'll see you guys in the lawn. So let's put a bow on this video. The main thing I want you guys to know is that you just got to get these products in your grass before signs of fungus. So just keep an eye on your 7 to 10 day weather forecast. If you start seeing signs like we talked about earlier in the video, the disease triangle, if you start seeing signs of warmer nights and thunder showers, at late afternoon, go ahead and get this in your lawn. Then you don't have to worry about fungus. So if you have any questions about anything that I said, please feel free to leave me a comment down below. All of these products, again, are linked on my website. Again, I do get a little bit of a commission, so I would greatly appreciate if you'd support me there. So with that, that'll about do it. My name is Devin, the DIY Lawn Coach. Thank you so much for checking out the video, and I can't wait to see you guys in the lawn.